Republican Senator Ted Cruz is hoping to capitalize on all of this anti-cancel culture nonsense taking place in the United States today. And he is actually selling autographed copies of Dr. Seuss books for $60 a piece as part of his latest fundraiser. Now, these books are obviously not signed by Dr. Seuss himself. No, they're signed by Ted Cruz. So, if you've been wanting a children's book signed by a U.S. senator, then I guess this is for you. So what's happening here is that you have Ted Cruz and plenty of other Republicans, trying to capitalize on all this. They're pissed off about the fact that the Seuss estate decided to pull some of their books off the shelves for, basically being racist. And Republicans think that this is somehow the Democrats going a little too far with their so-called woke culture. When in reality, it again is the estate saying, yeah, we're not going to put these out anymore. Some of the things are a little outdated because, they're really insensitive towards race, so we're just not going to do it. So Republicans, in their anger at Democrats, have actually been boosting the sales of the people who decided to pull the books in the first place. Yeah, we're not dealing with the brightest bunch of individuals here, and certainly Ted Cruz is not among that crowd either, but here's what's so funny to me about this entire thing. Ted Cruz at one point was actually a rather savvy politician, right? Like, he was tactful. He knew how to say the right things. He knew how to engage an audience. And then when Donald Trump came along, kind of threw all that out the window. He hammered Ted Cruz so hard in the 2015 and 2016 primary that I think he broke him. I think he broke Ted Cruz. And now Ted Cruz thinks that rather than being the mild-mannered, politician, he has to be this crazy, extreme fringe figure. And it makes sense, too, because Ted Cruz has always, tried to mold himself into what people want him to be, which is, again, one of the reasons most people don't like him. As I've mentioned before, back when he was working with the Bush campaign back in 2000 on the recount as one of their lawyers, he was hated by everybody. That's why he didn't end up getting a job with the Bush administration. Nobody liked him. Nobody wanted to work with him. And I think Ted Cruz is finally starting to realize that. And that's why he's trying on these new personas. Oh, am I going to be an anti-cancel culture warrior? Am I going to be the savvy politician? What am I going to be today? Am I going to be the guy that does funny movie impressions on a video clip? Because I know we've all seen those as well. He doesn't know who he is, but he does know that he pretty much doesn't stand for anything, which you could say the same thing about the entire Republican Party. This right here, his latest move, these $60 Seuss books with his autograph on them, is just the latest trying to capitalize on the culture wars, all of these nonsensical things, because Republicans can't actually talk about issues. Y'all just voted against that stimulus package that Joe Biden signed yesterday. And instead of offering the public something better, explaining yourself on it even, you're instead doubling down on your Dr. Seuss mania because you think that is a winning strategy. Just kind of shows you how far the Republican Party in the United States has fallen. Rather than talking policy, rather than delivering for the people, they're angry at Dr. Seuss. One of today's video sponsors is Privacy, and right now they have a wonderful offer for all of our Ring of Fire viewers. Go to privacy.com/ROF. Sign up for your Privacy account and you will receive $5. Privacy.com, their service is absolutely one of the most vital in an online world today, especially during the pandemic. Everyone is encouraged to stay home, so we're ordering more things online. And so your bank account information is more vulnerable than ever. Privacy gives you security. This is a product that I use all of the time, and here's why. If you have ever had your bank account information stolen, if it's been part of a data leak, that is a massive headache, trying to get your money back, trying to repair your credit. Privacy helps take away some of that concern. What Privacy does is it provides a browser extension, or you can go right into the website or into the app, and it can create a virtual bank account or credit card number. It can be a temporary number that only is used one time, or it can be merchant specific, meaning you can create a bank account card that only works for one particular website. So if that account happens to get hacked or has a massive data breach, that card number no longer works with any other website. That is how Privacy helps protect your bank account information in an increasingly insecure online world. So again, go to privacy.com/ROF. You get $5 free just for signing up. Or if you don't want to type it in, just click the link at the top of the video description below.